talk about managing people and tell you how we left in 2016 from Creditas, a team of 8, 10 people, to 170 as we are now. I'll tell you about what we did, show you some practices, some selection processes, how things matured, etc. And then to put things into a context, who here has heard about Creditas, has heard about it, knows the company, etc.? A lot of people. Well, I'll briefly tell you what we do. The things that today Brazilians are in a lot of debt, a lot of Brazilians in debt with personal loans and special loans, and this has a very high interest rate. And that is why our customers need our help. Today we have 170 billion in debts in the Brazilian market, and people are paying about 12% a year per month, or 12% of interest per month. And then we found a potential market to work where we have 46 million reals in possible businesses with houses that have been paid for, and 35 million reals with cars that have been paid for, and our possible businesses. And the product we offer in the market to the user is coactive loans with collateral. The real estate with guarantees at a rate of 9.9% a month. You give your own property as a collateral for a loan, and with that, if you have a house of 100,000 reals, you can take 60,000 reals with 9.99 a month of interest rate to pay in 36 times, 36 installments, 2 years, etc., or 10 years, etc. The second thing is cars with guarantees at a rate of 9.99. So you use your own car as a collateral. And the third product we are offering, we have just purchased a company to be part of our portfolio, which is private consigned credit, which is a guaranteed wage. The rates are very low because the user is taking on part of the risk, and so we can offer lower interest for the final user, the end user. Usually people ask to finish or to pay off debts, they take on loans to make dreams come true, to do an MBA program, to get married, to travel. So the goal of my team inside the company is to generate a scale in a sustainable way for Creditas. So technology, down to 2 months ago, the team was all focused on building systems for the company to increase our productivity so that we could be faster, generate scale without having to hire people. This would reduce the cost, and with that we could offer an even less expensive credit to our end user. And this all started in 2012. My story at Credita started in 2016. When I came there in 2016, this was the technology team. We had 8 people in our team. The entire team would fit inside a meeting room. We ran some meetings, nothing very big. And we were just talking, etc., meeting regular in 2018, October 2018. This was our team. From 2017 on, when we found the product market fit, which is a loan with guarantee, we knew we would have to hire many developers, PMs, and other staff that would help us do our job. So I brought here a drawing. I can't put everyone else in the same picture. I brought you this workflow of this chart that shows our team. We have 360 people now. We have a large wax team, products people in management, developers, some people working with architecture who start thinking about future problems for the company. So basically, as I'm showing you here, our org chart, the vertical rows here, we're trying to organize that with triple squares, but we have the business units there. So this is payroll, which is consigned credit. The second is auto, our first product, the product that matured faster because it is a very fast process. The feedback cycle is faster, and we can have a more mature product very early on, and with that we can do improvements. We have a lot of development speed. Second vertical there is we have three vertical teams there up to 6 months ago. To have credit with a real estate as a collateral, it took 3 months until you got the money. With this technology team we have there, we reduced it down to 21 days, the term to receive this money. The other one is servicing. Some time ago, we found that we could offer a service, a charging service as a business unit in the company for something to add to our results. So we started with two teams, developed an app where the user can pay the credit, and we also take credits from other companies to charge this and to make this collection. And this is also another service we offer. The other column there are new products. So I tell people that up to 2 months ago we had Creditas 2.0, the core business of the product, auto, home, and consign credit. Now we started to build a new layer around these products, which are new procurement channels, a new way to be closer to our customer. We are changing a bit the relationship. Today we have customers that are becoming users. So one of the teams there in the new products column is marketplace, which is something we are developing, which is basically we have a store where we'll be able to sell iPhones, refrigerators, bicycles, anything you want, and people may go there and pay for these goods, for these services with a consigned credit, with a direct collection from their payroll. So these are the people who are expanding the company, who are making the company expand our portfolio of offers. Last column there are the cross teams. Those are the people who facilitate and help others do their jobs. We have engineers, we have the Vox there, I have the help desk people that work for the entire company. So these are the cross teams. And at the end of the day, after these 3 years, so this is what we have. We have 170 people spread on these vertical groups. And I'll tell you how we started to grow and hire all these people. I brought here first to tell you a little how we improved with the selection process with time. So back in 2016, the second half of 2016, our selection process was all managed by the engineering token. He entered LinkedIn to do hunting. He would talk to people to understand who needed technicians, and he, product manager. He sent people messages through LinkedIn. He set up the meetings, and he was doing the interview. So from the very beginning, we placed developers in the interview because we always thought that the team should participate on the choice of who was going to work with whom. We also had the I started to work as Agile coach when I entered there to validate how many or how much people were aligned with Agile, with this new approach, and to work in our teams. And we had a small challenge, which was to start to turn Creditas known in the work market. Not everyone knew what we did or the product we offered. And back then, one of the things that we decided that every test we corrected, we sent a customized feedback. And there's a post on our blog that after writing a lot of feedbacks to people, we wrote some posts showing how can you become a dev, how will be the fundamental reading. So we always having this care. Whenever we corrected someone, we would say, well, we made a mistake here, there, but there's this and this reading that you should do, and in 3 months we can talk again and see how much we improved. And for the challenge of turning the company more known and to divulge what we were doing inside, we decided to start a blog to tell our practices, everything we did in our teams, and we created our diary, and then we started to have everyone in the team and have them write about the work they did and tell them that this was part of their job inside the company, to share really what they did, to tell so that people would know what we were doing inside. And this was great because I remember that in 2017, the first half of the year, one of the people who hired was one who read the blog and said, well, I want to work with the people who are writing this. So this helped us substantially and in a very non-expensive way to start showing our brand. And another thing we did was that Our daily life is very nice. Our environment is very open. Our culture has a great impact. So I've been there since 2016, has always been so. And we kept telling ourselves, how come people don't know what we do here? Then we started a page on Instagram to share pictures, and this was the first picture in our Instagram account. Not that this picture would help hire anyone, but we were trying to show the team how fun it is to work there. And this was the same picture at Instagram, a deploy we were doing at Friday night, everyone there together, and it was written there. It was our dinner. We thought that this would help, and in
And people accessed that and looked at how it worked, and we became better known after adoption of these practices. In 2017, first semester, we began to incorporate other roles in the selection process, and we noticed that our challenge in technology, we don't have Black Friday, we don't have other types of access. It was really to try and model out the system such that the platform, such that it reflected the business issue that we were tackling. Most of the people that we were hiring in 2016 were purists motivated by technology, and we brought in a project manager to participate in the developers section. And we wanted people who were already in the business, people who wanted to work with fractal structures, people who had more empathy and so forth. That was very good because besides the product manager participating in the interview, they taught us from technology how to ask questions to validate whether people had the opening about products and the business. Another challenge was to strengthen the team by that is strengthening the company brand via the team. People being asked to deliver lectures, to appear in the community, and become a benchmark. And whenever you do this, people create an impact outside the company. And another thing we decided to do is to seek people outside São Paulo. The São Paulo market is very competitive. Everybody is hiring. Creditas is part of an investor portfolio. They're always in most startups, and we cannot harass employees from other startups. So we used our creativity to seek out people outside São Paulo. This was one of the results in 2017. Barbara and Camila, I brought their pictures. They lectured more than the CEO in 2017. We were present in 15 events, delivering lectures and exposing to people. And these young ladies lectured in 13. They were record holders. And Karen works for us for 5 years. She was very shy. She was very bashful, insecure, and she started delivering lectures, and this increased her self-reliance, and she grew in the company and began to attract many people. She lectured at QGun, and she attracted 400 people. Many people who come talk to us. They mentioned this girl Camila. She became a superstar. This in 2017, the whole team, and we were present in more than 15 events as lecturers. Way before that, Camila and Barbara had the chance to deliver the lectures, and we have a budget for 5,000 reals, inviting people to move to São Paulo. We had interviews, and it's always a difficult moment. People to leave their cities and go elsewhere. We wanted people to come in and come in at their ease. And we decided to help with money so that people didn't get bothered. This is a selection process. Comments on the selection process. Because of this feedback on what we wrote, because of our approach and so forth. This is exceedingly important. because people end up talking. Product technology is a very restricted market, so treating people well becomes advertising for you. And still in 2017, we changed our structure in the selection process. We what we did is we brought in human relations. We brought in people who looked only at hiring technologies. PM left, and we began to decentralize selection. We began to set up these fractal structures with 10, 12 teams. We needed volumes and opening, and the team found the need. The team interviewed and hired, and we increased seniority. This was the result in 2017, and we made a study to check how was the scale versus the turnover. This was quite surprising because we didn't follow up on this on a month by month basis, step by step, and we were surprised. If you look at the chart, the red line is from early 2016 to mid 1916. Many exits, and we had 15 people leaving the team because the company was very unstable and people didn't know where to look, and we also didn't know where to shoot. And as the market feed stabilized, we brought in people to the team. Things began to change. And the red on top of the blue are the newcomers. And one of the things that we learned is that bringing in a lot of people at once is a problem because you have too many new people and brainstorming is general. It's going to become a mess. People will become uncomfortable and they will leave. So we hired on 4 or 5 people at a time. This is what we can absorb. Result was very nice. Because if you look at our site, you will see that our history from 2015 to 2018 is not good, many low grades, and we're turning this around. I can't read this right because I don't have my glasses on. We had 9 developers in the second semester of 2016. Now we have 39. In the second semester of 2018, what really changed is that we increased the technical team. The technical traders decided to decentralize the selection process. Each channel, each team has its selection process in the Slack. Hunching and 30-minute talk. We sent in a test. We set up a presential interview, and the person can be hired then. Doing the hunching is the team that the team establishes. I need a person with such profile, programming such language, and that is represented by a team leader who is a coordinator, and the team helps out our HR people to select the profile. The team corrects the test, makes the interview, offers a proposal, and hires the people. We decentralize now. With this, we found some problems. There's a lot of teams who use a hub to develop. When you find a senior hub profile, they fit all the teams. How do you solve this runner-up thing? How do you decide which team will get the person? When you decentralize decision-making power, you lose the standard. Some teams interview very well, other teams interview very poorly. How do you solve for this? And we decided to create a structure for that. Instead of depriving people from participating in the selection process, teach them how to carry out a developmental or an interview or process as the VIP or the HR personnel do. We continued sending the people to events and being present at all times in the AWS. Barbara was the cover of a site talking about the work that she does with the women software community, and she's representative of an association that holds an event per year. And this is the number of hiring in the second semester of 2018. That is 45 new hirings. Out of these 45, 29 were referrals. In 2017, I don't have the exact number, but none was by referral. And this number unveils the satisfaction of people with the company, because otherwise they wouldn't refer anybody. There is one person here who's a tech recruiter. He referred 15 people. Uh, 6 were organic. People applied in the career page. A bit of the work of us working on the brand as a strong brand position. Others came bounced back and declined our offer, and then came back and decided to accept. And the others were hunching. And the strategy that was set up in these 2 years, we relieved the HR people, and HR became more available to seek a specific profile. This is the most difficult to find. The great mass was found in this effort. This is an updated chart as of 2018, early 2019. At the end, there's a big red curve that we didn't have, but unfortunately this was a movement in all companies. Many people left the country. Many people left for Portugal and Spain, the Netherlands, and this is very bad for the team. But after all, we were not very unhappy, because this is people's dreams, and we really collaborated towards this. In a little bit for 2019, our recruitment, the team for technology, we have 7 tech recruiters altogether. We don't understand very well whether we will have one tech recruiter for each vertical or by role. We're trying to understand how we can organize the best recruitment capabilities that we have. We also have a better defined process for the selection process, a role called the Harry manager, to decentralize the decision-making power at the end of the hiring period, which is a person who's a decision maker, catching inputs from everywhere, from every team in the company, and he has delegated the decision to hire or otherwise. And if he wants to delegate to a developer, will be upon his own responsibility. Same thing for analytics in HR, to begin to study and make decisions which are number-based. The challenge for us now is growth. Earlier this year, we opened an office in Porto Alegre. We have approximately 12 people working with us in Porto Alegre. They're working on a specific business domain. Credit decision making is all in Porto Alegre, being developed now. And we just opened an office in Valencia, in Spain. Valencia is a major pole for technology, for startups. 2 Chinese companies opened their branches there, and they really train very good people. We decided to go to Valencia in order to work on new products. And I told you we got to Porto Alegre in Europe. This is a picture of the Porto Alegre, and there's a tea gourd there, and to show people what the custom is. And just as a picture of the first team in Valencia in the revamping of the office. We have 10 people already hired. They're in Brazil for 3 weeks to work on discovery, on the text that are going to be used, team processes, and so forth. A very cool story about this. That this picture has one person, from right to left, Julia. She worked for us until 2018. She went to Portugal because she wanted to live in Europe, and as we wrote on the Twitter that we are going to Europe. She sought us out and wanted to return. And another person who worked for us for 2 years also wanted to come back. This makes us proud. People worked for us, and they really wanted to come back. And what do we do upon the arrival of people once they're hired? Why this number of referrals was so high compared to 2017? I have this slide that represents people coming in at Creditas. And this was very strong, very powerful and systemic. And now it is much more fluid, much better distributed. It is a structure the teams follow, but each team does it in its own way. And let me tell you how we did it and how this was instituted in the company. In 2017, we decided to scale up. The brand wasn't very well known. We opted for hiring junior people who had a lot of potential. They were aligned with our mindset, but they were juniors. They were not as senior nor as experienced. And we had some time because it took some time for people to ramp up. And we found noise in the conveyance of culture. And we then decided this. We decided to create a technology boarding. People run through this board in the company. It will last for 1 week, and then they go to the team and they spend 3 months in a technology board. The investment that you make in the PM or a developer or an agilist or whatever is a mid-run investment. People will take 4 months, 4 to 6 months to begin understanding. And the arrival of new people in technology structures has three complexities involved. The business complexity, which I think is contextual, the technical complexity, and the social complexity. The onboard that we set up for technology contains or carries this purpose to build shortcuts to deal with these complexity, mainly social complexity. First is the arrival of people in the first week, and they have a sponsor, a person who will be your godfather in the company, take you out to lunch and talk to you about things that will hear you out and support you in the 2 first weeks, and to make your arrival a little more pleasant. Then all the areas of the company have a talk. They set up an agenda. They record a they record a video and tell the TCC as though it were a board. Then people eat lunch with specific areas in technology and product. We cannot welcome everybody now. The team invite people to come in and eat lunch with them, and the idea is just for them to know each other, just that they don't talk about business. And also lunch with the buddy, who's the sponsor, and to find out whether you need any help, want to talk to somebody that you don't know who. And the third week, they're cleared to go to the areas. The technology board then begins. And in their first week, we just talk to them. What is the investment? What is the environment like? What is the cultural aspects? How do people like to be treated? What do we talk about in the team? Anything that we can anticipate. In order to mention the context, we anticipate everything. We figure out what are the excesses, everything that the user will need in order to begin working. We have to anticipate, and the person in the team will help the person out, the new hiring out. Some people come in and explain how the loan contraction works in architecture and the needs. And we talked about one item of the company is having a squad tour. I'm going to work in risk management. I'm going to be very well placed in my team, and they should meet people from other squads, even though they may never work together. You create alliances, you create connections outside the realm of your team in order to accelerate your learning. You may need something from another team, and this will break the ice. And we begin the planning of a test period we call the past experience. That is, we take a delivery that is not in the backlog or prioritized in the backlog, where people will rehearse what they learned in the previous week. Or you work on something that will not necessarily create value, but will create value to people, not to the product. The mission is to learn and clear it out, deal with the team, talk to the people. In the fourth and fifth weeks, people are there just working in the aspiras. It is time to set up, establish pairs, and clear doubts. And it is a secure, emulated environment so that people can feel how the work is going to be. In the last, we're going to begin making decisions in the team. And what do we ask them? Mainly when those are junior people that they have a 15-minute weekly feedback. That is, person will say what they feel in the team, and the team will say how they perceive the person. And the feedback is, God damn, you're too quiet. You got to ask more, and because people come in very scared. I don't want to ask anything because I can be misinterpreted. I'm going to show that I don't have any experience. So the idea is to break this ice and increase their psychological security. It is going to be easier for them to adapt. And after a while, we see a team agreement. Everybody do the feedback with us as a team leader or as a manager or as a developer or as a product manager. And in these 3 months, they go on a feedback session. There's a post in our site, how do you run this? And after 3 months, the impact of getting a feedback from your team and telling you how you're doing will help you out a lot in the adaptation of these people along the curve. And there's this 3-way coffee that HR organizes, calls people in the first 3 months to hear from them how they feel, what are they doing, and such that they can state their feelings and pass this feedback on to the company. These are the initial steps in the 3 or 4 first months in the company. And I brought in pictures. When we hire somebody, even before we begin, we invite them to a muffling meeting where we practice transparency. Sergio is in the picture. He's the CEO. He shows the corporate numbers, what was the last month like, and we invite them over so that they understand this cultural aspect. This is the picture of the onboarding. On the one hand is those with the grain folders. They are the buddies who welcome the people, the new people, newcomers. So this begins on Monday. What he does is they welcome the people who come in and will be helped in the first few weeks. And on the side, all of those who participated on the onboarding, and there's people from business, from technology, from analytics. And if we didn't do this, the technology people would never meet anybody from business. And it is very nice to see people having lunch together, technology eating lunch with the finance people. They have nothing to do with each other. And technology has a talk in the onboarding. We show how the technology works, and we can show to people, for those who don't work in technology, what is the importance of our team in the company. This is a note picture of the Aspiras planning and all the newcomers in the company, and we're working on the sprint that we're going to run. After 3 months, those who were getting the feedback, VP was there, Marcelo is in the middle, and it was very nice. New people, they come in very frightened, but after a while, people see that it is very nice, and that helps a lot. Now, I'm going to talk to you about how we deal with people development, which I think is something very important too. How do we do the development? How do we hear people out? How do we deal with careers and so forth? So one of the things that prompted me to go work to work for Acreditas, I met Leo in Management 3.0 to understand the importance of this, and we try to apply things with this mindset. And Mark indicates the visions, the basis, energizing people, improve the whole, have an aligned leadership, and not really implicitly, but it's a matter of mindset. We try to deliver this and make it clear to people in the daily operations. It's like a gardener. We water them, we protect them, we seed them, and then we harvest. And this is connection of the company with people needs having them on a one-to-one talk, and then we give them autonomy and let them follow their career. These are the four pillars that we have the company in our environment. Strong cultural environment, engineering practices, the product participating with the technology, and clear restrictions in the environment. First thing I have to say is, as a culture, we have people approximation and transparency culture. That is, and I don't have a team now. I had a one-on-one marked with people every 15 days, with some who are newer weekly, and all the leaders at Creditas do this. One of them was a net exporter of technologies, and what we try to do is the auto drive autonomy. What can a person decide? How far can the person go? And what with one purpose, try to align these things. What we really try to do is align the challenges the company faces, things that we have to build, because we're a very young company, nothing is structured. At the end of the day, there's a lot to be done with everything that people want. And so if there's someone who wants to develop himself as a leader, we have to develop that in the company. Let's take the challenge, let's build a plan such that the person can do whatever it wants. Give them autonomy in its box, and this person box. And one-on-one involves two questions, powerful questions. What called your attention during the selection process? It's a two-way road. And as a company, I can choose you, but you must choose me too. If a person chose to work for Creditas, it's because something called the attention. And as a leader, as a manager, if I can guarantee people doing this every day, they're getting what they want, they're going to be happy. It is of the essence that in the first conversation we ask this, to have some alignment, to reassure people in the company. Another thing that we support a lot is the collaborative culture. We hold programs, and we have channels where people post ideas. We encourage the approximation of people such that they can talk and support each other. Learning. We bet, we lay our wagers on these talks. It's open. You can work, you can submit a paper, you can talk about what you want. Some people are talking about calling, other people are talking about sensitivity. That is, sharing knowledge is of the essence. And we have non-tech talks. It's the second Wednesday every month. There's space for 3 7-minute lectures that people can submit. This is an actual picture of one of them talking about Pomodoro. They're explaining to people out of technology what is a Pomodoro, a concentration and productivity technique. I've gained some .07. It's people are afraid to do it, and this must be encouraged. This is a study group since 2016, so we held lunches with video lessons for people to train VDDs and so forth. Some platforms that we sign up for and leave open, our developers or the developers come in. Everybody has access to the platforms, log in and hear the lessons. We support that. We want people to participate. A bit of our letter, when we created our letter, we decided to give people the option of a Y career. Technology management specialist, you're not going to have any power, or you're not going to earn more, but what you want for your career, or you want to be a technical specialist. Our connection with the product, we leave it abundantly clear the technology is responsible for the delivery, and the product is responsible for discovery. and a development flow that is very explicit in the responsibilities for each one to deal with. This is an continuous improvement practice where we'll stop and exchange ideas about what is bothering people and create uh, ways of helping people, our technology and our restrictions, mostly behavioral. Some people are bothered with the environment. We chatted with them and created behavioral rules. What can we do such that people behave as the team wants them to behave? The team creates that, and they do it. And in my first chat with the group, I explained to them why it is important to do this. Pictures just to illustrate the environment. We support diversity in the company as a whole, mainly in technology. Since 2017, we understand that all positions for entry in technology, internships and technologies are for women. We had a problem not to find seniority in women. And when we find perhaps it is not comfortable for them to change. They don't know how secure the environment is, and the selection process is complicated. And we decided to offer opportunity at the base for women to begin that such that we have many more women in senior positions. Hiring Minutes is the program. This is people that have a very nice and agreeable selection process. We have 22% of the team is made up of women. We improved a lot. And we have that engage for financial education in some communities, some poor communities. There's those who go to races, triathlons, marathons, and there was one race where 80 people went to run together, and this is the an altogether people 300 people in the companies. We're over 1,000 now, and we cannot shoot a picture of everybody. We have our stand here, our booth here. If you have any question, if you want to chat, we have a number of slots open. We want to talk to you. Fernanda is sitting here up in the front, and she is the recruitment and selection person. Come and talk to her. These are our positions.
Instagram, it is much better than it was before. LinkedIn, Meetup, all our social networks are listed there. If you have any questions, I'll be here until the end of the afternoon in our booth. And that's it. Thank you very much. Good. I have 5 minutes for Q&A, and I have sandals here to give for those who ask questions. Good afternoon. My name is Anderson, and I have seen people talking about tech recruiter, and I don't know exactly what is this person like. Is this a person that works with development, technology, or HR? Can you explain to me who is this person, the tech recruiter? Well, what we try to do is very difficult to find someone from technology that has HR experience. So we have to try to find people who have experience in technology, people who are open and can learn more of our context, of our world. For 2 years, I myself worked a lot, very close to the recruitment team, the HR team at Creditas to help generate contacts, understand, and help them in the business. So we worked very close with them, and sometimes it looked like I was leading the selection team. No, we were working together. So this is what we have. We have to take someone who has experience, who comes from a technology company. This is very important. People who know the field and are open to learn of our world, of our daily lives. And after the person comes in-house, it is a work of pairing, every day working together, developing the person, helping the person develop, talk to the team, rotate in order to understand. This is what we're looking for. Afternoon. It is no secret that here in Belo Horizonte, the technology market is filled, is crowded. The senior developers companies are fighting for them, and to retain the talents we already have is difficult because with high salaries and different cultures, etc. So my question is, if you have a company, the company has a high goal, it has a high turnover rate, and the company's culture does not help with this. How can we, as squares, how can we do something to revert this happening? Or is it, should we just give up on that? Well, give up is a possibility, but well, of course, you can try some things before. Well, there was one thing I said here that was fundamental, at least for me. What we did at Credita is to have someone in the leadership of the company, in the strategic leadership of the company, who understood the value of having this kind of thing. Sometimes you will slow down your delivery rate. Sometimes you will not. You will produce less, but in the long run, you will gain much, providing people with autonomy. I believe the first question, the first thing to do is a meeting with the leaders, especially the leadership, the technology leadership, maybe the CEO of the company, and see and ask how they see technology for the company. We know at Creditas, and they made it very clear that technology is what will grow the company. It is the attraction that investors are looking for to invest in Creditas. And after that is that you discover how they see the role of a technology coordinator, etc., and what is expected. It is not only us that has to be open for this. We have to deliver something to the company. We have to sit down with them, make it clear what are the problems we are seeing and what we propose to solve these problems, and see if this is good. Sometimes I talk to people, I say that sometimes one director does not let you do something. It's not because they want it, but because they're also afraid. Why is he afraid to provide full autonomy to a team? So you have to understand these fears and try to change it. For me, this is a cultural issue inside the company, and those who expose the culture of the company are those who are in the leadership layers, you know, the consultants and directors and VPs. Well, first, congratulations. I really enjoyed your presentation. It is actually a curiosity I have concerning org charts. Uh, Not concerning the structure you presented, but in terms of leadership, you follow a more horizontal line. How does it work, the hierarchy inside the technology team? Well, from the very beginning, we had a more horizontal line, a more flat hierarchy. And two things: we have leadership and we have management. You know, the management will inspire people, and among the leaders, they have to be managers. So we have this flat issue, flat level among the layers, and with that, you have more openness for the leadership to open up and for people to grow. So we leave the leadership role with less power. Of course, people may see this and feel different when you are a manager and have a leadership role, but we try to practice this. And one way I like to see this is that I say I work more for my team than my team to work for me. My job is to facilitate and help them work inside the company, then have them work for me there. So we try to do this. Of course, that in a scale you start having some problems, because then when you start to scale up, you have a lot of people spread, many teams. The coordination becomes an issue, and you need to have these roles in all the teams, and then you need some noises show up. And sometimes, if you give a task to a team that is not mature enough, the person responsible to make a decision is a coordinator or a manager. That sometimes, having this horizontal communication generates fear in people, and you have to tell people that we want them to be open, but unfortunately, at some point, decisions have to be made. That's what we tell people. Okay, thank you very much.